Let's roll. Phone's on mute.
Yes, prior to get started, I asked everyone to put their phone in silent mode. Okay, good morning, everyone that are here to this go for public hearing with respect to House Bill 2254. And this is the bill to update the definition of tobacco product in the CNMI excess tax law and to bring tobacco tax rate to the recommended level. And to set tobacco tax rate to increase with inflation and control programs in the CNMI and invest tobacco tax revenue in healthy promotion and disease prevention control program in the CNMI purpose. So that's the legislation that the committee is here to get input from the general public as to whether they support or are not in support with this legislation, where the House passed this legislation back in June 2022. Before I officially call the session to order, I'd like to first recognize the members. On my immediate left here is our Sergeant-at-Arms, John Santos. And next to him is our LS, Devin Macaranas. And with us also is the Senate Legal Counsel, Mr. Zobar Moody's, and si Jonathan Diaz, our IT. And on my far right, see Honorable Senator Frank Cruz, and on his immediate left is Senator Carl Neighbors, both from the island of Tinian. And today I'd like to, for the record, I'd like to have the clerk on the record that Senator Rini, our floor leader, and Senator Zeki are hereby excused from this committee meeting. Moving forward, I would like now to call this public hearing to order. And I ask the clerk to please do the roll call.
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz.
Here.
Senator Victor B. Hokuk.
Again.
Senator Carl R. King Neighbors.
Here.
Senator Justo Esquitigo. Senator Vinny M. Sablan. Mr. Chairman, 3 members are present, 2 members are absent.
Okay, we have 3 members present. We constitute the necessary quorum to move forward with this public hearing for today. Again, let the record show that Senator Justo Kirigua and Senator Vinny Sablan are hereby excused. Okay, do I hear a motion for the adoption of today's agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer a motion to adopt today's agenda.
Okay, there's a motion, has been seconded to adopt the agenda for today as I enumerated earlier with respect to House Bill 22-54. And that is on today's agenda. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Now I would like to open the floor for public comment. And before anyone present yourself, please identify your name for the record. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is David M. Evangelista. I'm the resident of Tinian. I'd like to just make a few comments regarding the 22-54 of the House version, regarding the tobacco tax raise. Due to the high cost of gas and inflation of all the tobaccos, there's good and bad with this. Educating our public with the this cancer from tobaccos and stuff is good. But although in times of crisis like this now, what we're facing is I totally oppose with the with the tobacco hike rate to raise it's enough. We really need to, Mr. Chairman, to really look into minimum wage too. As we raise the taxes, we need to have minimum wage raised so that it balances out the disposal of the consumer. Unfortunately, that's not the way it's heading. The commodities are up so high, the prices, the inflation of each, as you go on, if you going to buy a can of Spam, it's like $4.99 for a one can. As the minimum wage remains at $7.25, I totally disagree with raising the tobacco tax. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evangelist.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Welcome to Tinian. I want to thank you again and the committee for bringing this forum to our people here on the island. I want to say that after reviewing this proposed legislation, I think the timing is not right. Also, I would prefer that while there's research done on the effect on this particular product for the users, I appreciate their findings and whatnot, but at the same time too, this is not the first time that they raise tax for tobacco in our area. And we want to go back and try to look at that if the data shows that by raising taxes on this product will kind of deter people from continuing to use it. Not only that, but as everybody knows, majority of our product right now is very, very high, and we are feeling the crunch. It's very hard right now because the spending power has diminished because of the cost of living here on especially on these remote islands and out here in the middle of the Pacific. So I feel that this is not the right time to do this at this point. So I totally object this at this point. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. Anyone else? Director, you have anything to?
No. I don't agree with it.
Okay, so I'd like to recognize Senator Neighbor.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to the public who came here today to have a discussion, honest discussion about the ramifications and the proposed tax increase. One of the things that I think we've overlooked, or I feel I have overlooked, and I wanna bring to everybody's attention, in the same vein as Senator De La Cruz had said with regards to the data and how that data reflects on whether or not people are still inclined to purchase these products. The bill and the way that it is written is trying to say that it is saying that they're going to use some of the funds from the tax to supplement and provide funding for our healthcare system. Some of the reasons and the things that I had mentioned during the public hearing on RODA, I think are appropriate, because if we take a comprehensive approach at healthcare, I promise we can do the research, we can bring in the doctors. Everybody will say that by the time people have the disease, that's when the money really comes into play. Treatment is so much more expensive than prevention. And that's where I'm advocating for more preventative measures. So we as a community don't have to get to a point where we're spending so much money treating heart failure, heart condition, kidney failure, diabetes, high blood pressure. If we can, instead of increasing the amount and of cost of certain commodities, and whether it be alcohol, tobacco, sugar, there's loopholes. Again, we can tax the sodas and the sweetened beverages. But what about ice KK? What about ice cream? That nothing stops people from purchasing these things at cost, right? So they're still going to find avenues to go about getting their sugar fix. But a far better approach, which will lessen the burden, which I think this is trying to do on our healthcare system, is promoting and advocating policies that will teach and help guide our community into better living. Like was said, canned goods are $4.99. Minimum wage is $7 some. But to live healthy, if I was gonna go buy proper food that in the pyramid are on the bottom, it's so much more expensive for me to live a healthy life. If I was just gonna get the proper vegetables, the lean proteins at the grocery store, it's gonna cost me triple what it's worth than to go buy a can of Spam and just some rice and call it a day. And that is that is one of the main components as to why we have some of these underlying health issues here in the scene of mind, is because the cost of these commodities are so expensive. So I understand that this bill is trying to raise money for the healthcare system, but again, I would just like to say that there are so many different other approaches that we can take. If we're really interested in fixing the foundational problem, the core of what's causing these underlying ailments and diseases in the scene of mind. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. Senator Neighbor, Senator Cruz, you have any statement to make?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to everyone, especially those that are here in the courtroom, and also those that are watching at home. I appreciate your participation. It is very important that we allow the members of the public to comment on this legislation, and we will, or personally, I will make my final disposition as to the public sentiment on such legislation before we make our final decision on our disposition to whether we support it or not support. Again, it's very important that we hear from the members of the general public. Every legislation that we put on public hearing, we require public comment for to guide us as to whether the public supported it. So at this time, I will wait for the public hearings that are scheduled to be conducted by this committee, and I will make my final disposition on this matter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Cruz. Again, I recognize two new participants for this public hearing that are here this morning. You have anything to make public comments regarding House Bill 22-54? And this is as it relates for the increase of tobacco taxes. The floor is still open for public comments. Please state your name for the record.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan Perez. I'll make it very short and very firm and meaningful. I am not supporting. Why? Economy. When you raise the taxes for tobacco or the sugar, what's gonna happen to our taxes? So I am not supporting it because as a business person, myself, we need money for our economy. We need money for our island. So if no one will buy the tobacco, I'm not saying that you need to smoke and you need to go out there and, spend your time and money for the tobacco. But when people will not buy it, what the business is gonna happen? They will not able to have enough income. They will not able to have enough sales. So to make it short, no, I'm not supporting it. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Guillermina Cispera. I'm here to oppose the passing of the tobacco tax. I am not a smoker, and maybe I shouldn't care about this bill, but the thing is, most of my family are smoking, and if you raise the tax, then it would affect their financial in their life. So I just met my auntie out there, and I said, "Are you going into for the hearing?" And he said, "No, but I don't like for you to agree in passing that bill because you know I'm a smoker and I need to smoke in order to stress. And that's a stress relief for her. But I'm not taking her side. I'm just saying that it is good to raise tax, but find another way to raise taxes other than tobacco, because most people smoke cigarettes, so that's their way of life, and I think that would affect their financial in their life. So I oppose 100% on that bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Penna. Okay, we appreciate all the public comments, and the committee will take the public concern and in addressing this particular bill, as we gather public comments both from Rhoda, Tinian, and Saipan, and then the committee will meet to finalize the disposition of this legislation. In the meantime, it will be helpful for any one of you that can provide an alternative idea how we can substitute other tax means other than what you are presently disagreeing with this legislation on tobacco, no tax hike. The bill have a merit to provide funding for the purpose of creating revenue for healthcare prevention and promotion. And as the senators expressed also their concern that we support the idea of prevention rather than trying to correct the problem. But there are people again that make mention that there are other alternatives to do that. And maybe, as I've heard the public comments made, that perhaps this is not the right time to move forward with this legislation, as the people are not only faced with, the difficulty and hardship when the pandemic, hit the Commonwealth badly. Although the pandemic might be neutralized at this point in time, but we still have concern about the presence of COVID-19. And what we should be actually considering also is the importance of healthcare. But there are another alternative again that I think the committee or the public, can provide some ideas also from the public sentiment as to how we can create another tax base from money that are made in the CNMI that is exiting out of the CNMI. maybe we can look into that as an alternative to cover this kind of costs, the prevention and promotion of healthcare. So again, the committee appreciate your presence to air your concern, as it will really help the committee members to dispose this legislation from the House of Representatives that was already passed and now on the hands of the Senate for action. So we're trying to expedite all this legislation so that we can continue to look another alternative if this will not move forward in raising taxes. Again, I know that there's another concern that's forthcoming about not only the cigarette, but also considering to raise taxes from, the usage of beer, soft drinks, and other sweet things. So again, this legislation will be forthcoming again for public comment. So I'd like the public to be more involved in the future to assist in transforming all these kind of ideas into, a workable and amenable legislation to ensure that we are also mindful about promoting our health, promotion, and ensure that we set funding for the purpose of this preventing no health problem. So with that, I'd like to ask if is anyone else want to make comments regarding House Bill 22-54 before the committee move on its final agenda? If not, maybe you can have a copy of the legislation. This will not end your comments here today, but the committee is happy to receive public comments as we still have one senatorial public hearing to conduct on the island of Saipan. And your public comment, when received by the committee before we act on the legislation, will be very helpful for the committee to move forward with the legislation. Recognize Senator Neighbor.
Thank you, Chairman, and also to those in the chamber who are unable to make a comment at this time. As Chairman Hokuk alluded to, we have one more public hearing, and we are accepting written public comments, testimonials, whether in support or not supporting the proposed tax. So please be cognizant and aware that we have time to receive those comments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Neighbors. Your comments does not limit only for this, but perhaps your comment can make recommendation that will enhance this legislation if we are to move forward, or your comment can be used in another form of legislation to ensure you're concerned that, you're concerned to assist the program of promoting better healthcare and ensure that we have fundings when treatment comes, and if prevention is far past and treatment is necessary, that this public health will have this necessary funding to assist the patient who surpass the preventive measure and requires treatment. So with that, if there's no other public comments from the public, I would like now to ask one more time from the members if there's any additional comment. If none, then I'd like to move to our item 6 of the agenda. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. If there's no objections, Chairman and members, I'd like to offer a motion to adjourn today's public hearing, subject to the call of the chair.
Okay, there's a motion for adjournment on this public hearing. And it's been seconded, and those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. This public hearing, as it relates to House Bill 22-54, is now closed, and we conclude our session under the adjournment subject to the call of the chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, thank you everyone for coming to express your concern. It's rare that we see so many people coming in, but thank you for your presence.